Dear friends, welcome back. The machine I'm going to do together with you would be presidential on the Vulnhub. The link will be added into the description section below. I think this machine is a bit complicated and difficult. However, it deserves our practice and this can help us to sharpen our techniques in pen testing. Without further ado, let's just get started. We can switch over to the Linux VM. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. As you can see over here, the IP address of the target could be recognized as 107. So what we are going to do next is to do the port and surface scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So for now, we just get out its result. As you can see over here, I used the options like scene scan, the virtual scan, the default script scan, followed by the -p- to do the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. And as you can notice here, the IP address has been changed from the first time when I did the machine. So from the map scanning, we can tell that the target has two open port numbers in total. And the first one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information, Apache 2. And the second one is 2082. So very important, we need to put this option full range port scan, otherwise possibly this port number cannot be recognized successfully. And also give us the version of the SSH, which is OpenSSH 7.4 version. And I don't think we can find any vulnerability except the username enumeration vulnerability, which is not what we want at this moment. So what we are going to do next, we need to do the enumeration. However, where do we have to start from? I think the only possible direction or the application should be the HTTP service. So we can start our enumeration with the HTTP service manually by open up the browser and can put the IP address of the target into the address bar. So as you can see, we got the page back and very beautiful. Before I need to pause the video. Okay, I think of course we need to walk through the site very carefully in case we miss some important information. And we can scroll down. Nothing interesting. And also there's some links which is not effective or active, okay? However, at the top, you can notice this one. We can copy. So this would be possible host name or domain name, right? So we can put aside for a while. So the domain name. Okay. So let's go back to our browser. We need to check its source code to see whether we can find anything important from its source code. And a lot of HTML code, including the CSS code, but none of them can give us important information. Next, we need to check whether this site has robot file. Not found. So next, I think we need to launch link to do the automatic enumeration. need to not only can enumerate out some common files or directories, also give us like header information, request header information, allowed HTTP methods, even if the web application has vulnerabilities, also we can get such information as well. Here we found this one, we can copy and access this file config. However, nothing returned. And very important, we need to view page source because sometimes we can find some comments in such a file, okay? However, in this case, nothing we can get like that. So what we can do next, we can launch our GoBuster to do the directory enumeration. And we can put the IP address of the target. And we can specify the word list. Okay, press enter. And as you can see, GoBuster can discover some, of course, this one we have already looked before. And about this one, assets, we can look at this directory, assets. And I think under assets directory, although there are 4 subdirectories like CSS, image, JavaScript, vendor, in most cases such directories contain some static file. None of them can give us important information. To save time, I will not navigate into each of subdirectories. Okay, and okay, to save time, I'd like to stop the GoBuster. So I think we have already done almost everything we can do, but nothing interesting or nothing meaningful. So it's time to consider the value of the usage of this information. We have already noted down this information. Maybe we need to put this domain name into the host file. Okay, we can copy and then we can echo IP address of the target and followed by the domain name. And then we can tunnel to T with option of A, and we want to append to host file. And you can open up this host file to confirm we have already appended this entry into this host file, okay, which is great. So next we can access the domain name rather than IP address. However, we got the same content from the target. So, usually when you encounter such a situation, we need to do the subdomain fuzzing or subdomain scanning, maybe any whatever. And you can use GoBuster with the subcommand vhost, but for me, I prefer to use the wfuzz tool, okay? I think I've already made a very quick summary on how to make web application enumeration with different techniques. So fuzz, option of -C to color the output. And I think I'd like to autocomplete this command. Okay, so I use the H option to specify the header. Of course, there's so many different fields which is available in the request header, but here we focus on retrieving or fuzzing the subdomain information. So now we can hit enter. A lot of output, and of course it's very clear we need to put the filter. I think this one and this two we can So the numbers, if the word numbers is equal to 854 or 545, will be filtered out. Okay, let's press enter. Of course, maybe you can use the dedicated or the separate subdomain word list, but for me, I always use this word list. This word list a bit big, although this is normally used for the directory enumeration. And now we can let it run to see whether we can find out the subdomain for this target. Then we need to append this if we can, and then we have to append this subdomain to the host file, okay, to proceed. It consumes a lot of resource of my Kali Linux. Okay, I think I've already got the subdomain. We can copy and note down to our notebook subdomain, and then we need to append this subdomain to the host file. We can use the same way. So echo date save. Okay, so now we can press enter. Now we access this subdomain. We are led to this phpmyadmin application. Of course, it's very understandable. We can try to use the weak credential like root as password and root as username and also root as password to log in, but failed. Okay, of course, in most cases we cannot for the phpmyadmin cannot make brute forcing or SQL injection or exploit SQL injection vulnerability. So how to do? I think this is another difficulty of this machine. Actually, although we have already done the directory enumeration, this step is not complete yet. Actually, we need to, use another directory enumeration tool, which is also my favorite. I can rank it as number 2 for, following the GoBuster. So we can use the search. Sometimes this utility can review some files which GoBuster cannot discover. Okay. As you can see this time, although just now we know that this file is blank. However, their search can identify its backup file, so we can copy and access this file. We can open up another tab, press enter. Although we got the same appearance, it appears, yeah, this page is blank. However, if you view its page source, you can get the comment, and we can get the username and the password for the database collection. And also, as you know, we have already got the phpmyadmin application. It means that we can utilize these credentials to log in, right? So we can copy and paste uh, database credentials. Okay, so now we can copy the username and password. Okay, go. And I think we are logged in as user. Vote what? Vote now. And what's our aim? We need to upload to the web shell, or we can get the initial foothold directly on the target. So I'd like to show you one way. For example, we can create a new database. We can use like test. We can create, and then we can, I want to we want to create the file by utilizing the SQL query. Actually, I use Google. Maybe I can use Google. So the phpmyadmin get a shell, and I can open up the first link. And actually, we can write the file, web shell to the file. So how to do? We can copy. And of course, at this moment, we didn't know the absolute path of the root or the location of the site. Okay, so we can copy, and we need to do some testing. We can paste it in here, and we can copy, and we can try, for example, var normally would be here, HTML, and we can go. However, we got the error, access denied for the user. So it means that we do not have enough permission to do such action. Okay, and so how to do? If we go back and if you go to the settings tab, and you can get the version information of the phpmyadmin. So then we can use such as phpmyadmin. Actually, the three possible exploits, and this one is remote code execution. Of course, we can try it now. We can use option of M to copy this exploit code to the current working directory, and we can run it. And we need to specify the I think this should be the IP address or the host name, and then port number, the path, username, password, and command. All right, we can try it, and we can use. I'd like to autocomplete this command. So this should be the location of the phpmyadmin, and then we can use this credential to log into this page. And then this command, this is the command I want to execute on the target. So for now, we can press enter. However, nothing returned, which means that this Python code cannot work very well for this machine. We need to try the other exploits. So we can use the same technique to copy. This case is not code. This, I think, should be some sort of instruction. And we can cut out this text file. And if you walk through this text file, it give you the payload and also like POC. Okay, However, I think this should be used for the Windows machine. And we can get out another exploit instruction. So this one we can copy and paste in here, and we can cut out this, the second. So we can run the SQL query. I think we can copy this query statement, and then we can include. This should be the local file inclusion. Of course, this part we need to replace by our own host name or domain name. And however, for now we can copy. Maybe I can copy this part. We can copy and paste in here. Okay, so now we go to the SQL tab and run the command. So which one? We can select and go, no error. Next, we need to utilize the file inclusion vulnerability. I've already, as you can see here, and as you can notice here, the last part should be the cookie or the session key, right? So this will be different from, from session to session, from machine to machine. We need to change. And how to get this cookie information? We can click inspect and go to the storage and go to here, this part. So I think this should be the cookie value. We can copy and replace this part, and then we can copy and access. Press enter. However, we got the error. I think the issue, we need to spend a bit long time to sort it out. As you can see here, we can copy this part. I think this should be the place to store the sessions for the PHP application, right? And if you go to the Google, and we can put here. Actually, if you check out the links here, sometimes the name is sessions, sometimes no s at the end. So maybe in our case, this should be different, not the s. We can remove this last s character and test again. As you can see now, we can run the command, or the function, the PHP info function, and get the information about the PHP. So which sounds great, right? It means that the target or this phpmyadmin does or is vulnerable to this vulnerability, local file inclusion vulnerability. However, we cannot end here. We need to get our initial foothold or get the shell. And this would be very easy. We can replace this function by the system, and we can put the reverse command to the system function. Okay, so let me show you. We can go to the Pentest monkey website. We can copy and we can paste in here. We need to do some modification. For example, here we need to change to our Kali Linux. And port number, I always change to 555. Okay, so now we can copy this select query statement. But here, this one, we want to run system. System function can run commands, and we can put the double quotes, and we can put the reverse command between double quotes. So then we can copy. Of course, we need to repeat the steps what we have already done, right? We can copy and we can go to the SQL and we can put here and we can click go, no error. And next we can access this link again. However, oh, sorry, I need to change this should be the right password cookie value. And oh, sorry, I need to remove the S. However, we got the content of the PHP info. You know, although just now we have already executed this new function or new select query statement. However, when we try to use the file inclusion vulnerability, we got the early result of the PHP info function. So maybe, you know, this exploit is based on the session. You know, each time just I mean, based on session means that any one session can run one command or statement. Okay, so how to do? We can log out, because if we log out and log in, and then I think we can get a different session. So we should log in to the phpmyadmin again, and the password, and paste in here, go, and now we can go to the SQL tab, and then we can run this select query, and we can click go, no error. And now we need to, we need to remove this S, and then we can, of course, the cookie value would be different because the session has changed. We can copy and replace this one, and then we can copy. Of course, we need to set up the listener, right? And now we can put in here, press enter. It looks like it's working. Wonderful, right? And we can check Python. Python 2 is there. Import pty spawn bin bash. And now we can do the local enumeration. Only one normal user, admin, permission denied. How about the kernel? Very old kernel. So I think we can, you know, make use of a Metasploit to elevate privilege. But before I do that, I'd like to navigate across some locations like var backup. So I think I can use the Metasploit to elevate privilege. To do that, we need to upgrade this session to the Metapret session. We can use ms-vuln to create the payload. Of course, the IP address is not right, and we can press enter. Okay, and now we can launch our Metasploit console. In the meantime, we can upload this payload to the target. How to do? The easiest way is to set up the web server by Python on the Kali Linux. And now, if we go back to the text shell, we can use wget not an impure, met, no error. We need to make it executable, and then we can run it. Before we hit enter, we need to make sure the handler has started up. We can use exploit multi-handler. Set the payload. The payload should be the same as this one. So we can copy and paste in here. And we need to set the options to our Kali Linux and set local port number. Of course, this local port number should be the same as this one, 48. And now we can run it. The handler has started up, and now we can hit enter. It's a sending stage. We have already got the metpreta session, and we can background this metpreta session by pressing keys Control and Z, and we can search suggester, because just now we know the kernel on the target is very, very old. We can copy and we can paste in here. We can show options. We can set the session number to 1 and run it. And this module, local exploit suggester module, will collect possible exploits for the target. Afterwards, this module will do some sorts of checks. And then finally, we can get the possible module which can help us to elevate privilege of the target. As you can see over here, running check method for the exploit. And when it's done, and then we can proceed. We got the first result. Yeah, the target is vulnerable. Of course, I think, so when was the machine created? Oh, 2020. So I think we can utilize this vulnerability, the PWN kit. I think, okay, this is released in 2020 and 21. We can copy the module name when it's finished, and then we can, we can go on. All right, we can use followed by the module path. Of course, this is the relative path. We can show options. We need to set a local host to our Kali Linux, and we need to set local port number, and we need to use different port number. Set a session to 1, and then we can run it. I think the most difficult part would be, we need to use different techniques to make direct enumeration. Otherwise, it's not easy to discover the backup file. Okay, and we got the second metpreta session. We can get the UID. We are root user. If we, of course, I want to get the command shell session. And we can go to root directory, and then we can get the root flag. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.